Okay, folks, y'all see the title. Now, the woman that you're going to see here speaking, her name is Erica Sanzi, and she's the director of outreach for Parents Defending Education. And Angela Brown is doing the interview. And she puts out some pretty solid info here, and I'll got to do my break in and, give commentary, because if not, it's the fair use clause doesn't apply. So, but there's a couple of things. I didn't watch it all the way through. It's 5.25, 5:25. I said 5.25. 5.25 is 5:15, not 5:25, dummy. It's 5 minutes and 25 seconds long. And so it's not very long. And we'll go ahead and get to it.
President Trump talks DEI in his speech to Congress and mentions over $1 billion in DEI grants spent by the Department of Education under the Biden administration, which was uncovered in a report by Parents Defending Education. Joining us now to discuss this is Parents Defending Education's Director of Outreach, Erica Sanzi. Welcome to the National News Desk. And we're going to get to those grants in a second. But first, I really want to start with...
I wonder if I'm the only one that when someone's doing an interview and they have books and pictures behind them, I'd be trying to see the titles of the books. I can't see the whole book, and see a couple of pictures, but I'd be trying to, because you can figure out a lot about a person by seeing what they have in their art, what they're archiving.
The Department of Education, because right now, obviously, that's the big story that so many people are talking about. They're waiting for this executive order for Trump to sign, kind of dismantling the Department of Education. But it's so important to point out, Congress is the one that really pulls the strings when it comes to the Department of Education going away.
Yes. Carter is the president who, founded or created the department. Mm-hmm. And the Republican Party has been talking about getting rid of it since Ronald Reagan's presidency.
They have, yeah.
So this is something we've heard about for a long time. And while it is true that there's a lot of bloat in that department, it has over 4,400 employees.
And do yourself a favor and look at the year-to-year education statistics in the United States since its creation. Look at what it was prior to it being created to what it is now, percentage-wise. Okay, I don't make the numbers. They keep their own numbers. So if you want to pull it, that's the white man's number. Well, unless you created your own thing and was around doing it then that's all you're going to have. Let's go, Miss Sanzi.
He's working that department, and it is fair to criticize it for lots of reasons. The president cannot abolish the Department of Education. That would take an act of Congress. And in addition to that, there are federal programs that come out of the Department of Education that people are very concerned about because they're hearing a lot of misinformation that those programs would go away. So, for example,
if she turns on her polarizer, I don't know if she's using an actual camera or a phone, but if she got an Apple phone, I think Apple has a polarizer filter where when she moves her head, you wouldn't see her ring light on the lens of her glasses.
Federal law about special education. It cannot go away. Now, could that money be shifted over to a different department and be, funneled out that way? Yes, but the money cannot go away. Special education is protected. The same thing goes for Title I, which is the money that schools get if they have a high proportion of low-income students. That money is protected. It is federal law. So again, this idea.
And it's been federal law for a very long time. This is why some of us say you have people on Team Blue. They know this stuff, but they know that the average person probably doesn't or isn't willing to look it up. And so they just take Team Blue's word for it. Team Blue knows this. That's why they do this. They know what she's talking about. They know. Because guess what? They vote to keep it in place. They know. Come on, Miss Stanzi.
Yeah, that Trump can sort of just like use his pen to sign this away is not true. And so the money is guaranteed. Now, if it does get moved, let's say into the Treasury, or if money gets moved over to Health and Human Services, that just changes, where it emanates from. It's not going away. So could Linda McMahon, the new secretary, shrink it, change it, transform it, reorient it? Yes. But they can't just get rid of it, and they also cannot eliminate federally guaranteed programs.
Right, because some of these programs obviously predate the Department of Education, like funding for schools, low-income students. So that's before, so they just won't disappear. But I want to get to
actually,
now.
Angela, just one last thing, too, so people just know. The school lunch program has nothing to do with the Department of Education.
And it never has. That's correct, ma'am. You are correct.
So that comes out of a different department. I think it's the USDA. So again, anything you're hearing about school lunches in the Department of Ed, it's not true, because those two things aren't even connected.
Well, let's wrap back around to what we were talking about in the beginning, and that was your investigation into those DEI grants. What did you think, first of all, getting that shout out apparently, but your organization, what did you find out?
I mean, we had just poured over public documents, and by me, I mean our researchers, who are amazing. And they discovered over $1 billion in grants that were targeted for the purpose of DEI.
Man, this is some bullshit.
And that were flowing from the Department of Education into our public schools. So this meant money for race-based programming. This meant money for race-based hiring, race-based retention. There was a lot of talk in a lot of the language in these grants about sexual orientation, gender identity, kind of the usual stuff. And the truth is, they just sort of read like far left activists had written them and copied and pasted them, and now they were sort of using the schools as a vehicle.
A lot of it. Look at this. Lyndon Baines Johnson, Department of Education building. I'll have them niggers voting Democrat for the next 200 years. And he's right. Matter of fact, make his building bigger. Damn it. She's saying that now, I ain't saying she might have been saying this all day, every day from day one, all I know. But us that was saying this, that have, well, my children are no longer, they've been out of school for a while, but the ones that's dealing with it, like, what is this crap? We've all seen the videos where dads, and mostly dads, but will go up to the board meet open mic and be reading out of one of the books that's in the school about, Johnny has two daddies, or Susie's mom and dad are both women, just goofies, and then reading some of the stuff out of the book. And they say, well, they want to shut him down because it's not appropriate for a city or a school meeting full of adults, but you want to make the same thing available to be checked out of a library of a middle school, or accessed at the library of an elementary school or a middle school. And in one state, I think it was Indiana. It was in the Midwest. It wasn't my home state, Michigan. It was could have been Illinois. They thought they were doing something by moving said books of that nature from the elementary school and middle school level. We just make it available to the high school kids. They're still minors. They're still freaking minors. If I can't read the book aloud at the school open house, open mic meeting, then I don't want it to be available to my child via book form. Yeah, this is it. This is inappropriate. This is coming straight from your book that I got off the shelf of your library. She's right. She's right.
To bring that stuff to kids and to staff.
I want to get to this real quick. 'Cause we're running out of time. A speech, Trump also discussed gender and highlighted a Florida mom, January Littlejohn, who sued her school county board, alleging that they helped her 13-year-old daughter socially transition without getting her consent. You're following this case now. Tell me more about this.
I think I could be wrong, but I think ABL is the first person I heard make light of this, I think.
Yeah, well, we've known of January now for years because she was one of the first moms front and center on this issue. But what happened to her daughter, which was essentially that they put a plan in place behind the backs of the parents, and it meant a new name, new gender, accommodations into restrooms, locker rooms, et cetera. And what I will say is that I think that people are shocked to hear that this is happening. But this is the policy in most school districts across the country and has been now for a few years. Now, the executive order—
In terms of not notifying parents, you're saying that's the policy?
The issue of not notifying parents. So we will see, I suspect, and are seeing more lawsuits on this issue. Now, the executive order—
and I'm here for it. Carrie and I we were talking, said, look, that when they peel the scab back on this, there's going to be institutions and schools and doctors and the ones that's pushing those meds and hormone blockers and all that other. Now, in a lot of people's cases, the parents or parent, take your pick, not picking at male nor female. So I'm giving both of them that work. Were complacent and actually helping in this stuff, and the child has grown up and now wants reversal. I got so many videos that I know I cannot put here because they were here on my other channel, and Massive Dynamics summarily removed them and sent me a email. So look, I'm here for it. I'm ready for it.
From the Trump administration does reverse this, but we are hearing a lot of districts saying they don't plan to comply at all. More lawsuits for a few years. Now, the executive order—
In terms of not notifying parents, you're saying that's the policy?
The issue of not notifying parents. So we will see, I suspect, and are seeing more lawsuits on this issue. Now, the executive order from the Trump administration does reverse this, but we are hearing a lot of districts saying they don't plan to comply at all. So I think we're going to see a lot more. But she's kind of a profile in courage because she came out and stepped out at a time that this was very difficult, and she's been at it now for a few years, and she certainly deserved that invitation.
All right, Erica Sanzi, thank you so much for joining us. We'll be right back.
Thank you, ma'am. Folks, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Let the games begin. or what his name? The Malachi brothers. I can't remember the lead one said, "Wait, let the pigeons loose." You have to be an old head to know who the Malachi brothers is and let the pigeons loose. I'll let y'all look it up. Y'all be good and be safe. Bye.